Hello, welcome to Horror Monster Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Fright-Rags Halloween 1978 retro 3 3/4 inch figures. Now this has Myers, Lori, and Linda. It comes as a set, and I pre-ordered these a little over a year ago. Honestly, I completely forgot about them. I got an email from Fright-Rags saying that your order is shipped. I'm like, what order? I had to look it up. And I remembered about these, and these things are freaking awesome. They completely dropped off my radar that I pre-ordered them, but I'm super stoked that I got them in and that I remembered about them. These are obviously retro style 3 3/4 inch figures inspired by John Carpenter's 1978 Halloween. They're similar to Super 7's reaction figures, which are designed in the same vintage style as old Star Wars figures from Kenner in the 70s and 80s. I grew up on these toys, and many of us collectors did, and I have a huge 3 3/4 inch figure collection, so I love getting figures like this. I have a whole wall of these type of figures. They make for great collecting just because they have great card artwork, and they display nicely just left in the packaging. Typically you don't open up these type of figures. You can obviously if you want to, but as a collector you typically just leave them the way they are because they display the best that way. They have 5 points of articulation, which usually is the neck, shoulders, and hips, and that is the case for all these. And then obviously they have accessories with these too, which is a very, very cool inclusion. Fright-Rags is normally known for making awesome horror shirts, but they stepped into the figure game, the past few years with their Nanoforce unpainted figures and Last Drive-In with Joe Bob 3 3/4 figures. I love what Fright-Rags does. I'm all for this type of release, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at them. All right, up first, let's go ahead and start with the Michael Myers. Here we have the Judith Myers tombstone, and then also the knife. Let's look at the detailing on the mask. It's not the best sculpt. Actually, the sculpt is okay. It just has no shading on here, so it just whites out really poorly. It has the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. And they're super black, but the face sculpt, it really just needs some lighting help. You can see there we get some shadows in there. It looks good, but if you just blow it out like that, it can look bad. So it is just a shading issue because that starts to look pretty good. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I love the coloring on here. It's got like a kind of orangish hue, like a aged color to it. Here's the back of the card. That's pretty cool. Now here it looks like he has, like the typical Kung Fu action grip. He doesn't, but that would be cool. If you could kind of squeeze his legs and he would be like, murder, murder, murder. But yeah, this thing looks awesome. So they were done up by Plastic Meatball. And Plastic Meatball has worked with Fright-Rags in the past, and I have several of their releases, and it's always quality stuff. All right, so let's look at Lori. And just really good artwork. What you'd expect from Fright-Rags. So we have Lori, have a knife, jack-o'-lantern, and coat hanger. And again, I think this one's another one that just kind of is light dependent. Because for the styling, and keep in mind these are 3 3/4 inch figures, so you're not getting like a Hot Toys sculpt here. But the paint app looks really nicely done, and the sculpt is there. They just don't do any shading on these figures. but she looks pretty good. Let's look at the back. It's pretty cool. And I love how they have the mail out deals on the back, which we had as kids from those companies. It just brings back good memories. All right, finally, we have Linda. And she has her little bag with her. Let's try, we can see a face sculpt on her. She looks pretty good. And the paint app and stuff on here is really well done too. Let's check out the back. That's pretty awesome. I'm digging this set. All right, guys, that's about all there is to go over on these figures. Hopefully you guys like them as much as I do. I absolutely love them. Again, I love 3 3/4 inch figures. I've got a whole collection of horror figures. Some big runs, some custom one of one figures, but it's just a part of the hobby that I really cling to because it is a throwback to being a kid and playing with the Star Wars toys and things like that. And a sidebar, like I wish I had those figures and I wish I hadn't taken them out of the blister packs because they'd be worth a pretty good chunk of change by now. If you like these figures, see if Fright-Rags still is selling them. I would imagine that they're probably not, but it's worth a look. I've had these figures for about 5 days. I'm a little late getting the review done, but typically Fright-Rags just does a pre-order and then that pre-order closes, and then a few months later, like the figures ship out, and then that's it. And then typically they're not just available sitting on the site for sale, but they may be. If you're interested in releases like this, I would suggest following companies like Fright-Rags because they're doing like really cool stuff, and I love that they're expanding out of horror shirts. Anytime as a collector we can get more killer stuff from alternate sources, I'm all for it. And these are awesome licensed 3 3/4 figures. They got great card stocks. The figures look really well done, and I've been really happy with Plastic Meatball and the quality that they've been putting out for Fright-Rags. So as always, feel free to leave me questions or comments and I'll be happy to answer them. I will leave you with some still shots of these guys, and as always, feel free to like and subscribe and click the bell for notifications for new videos. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.